size bottom. Laughing gas under glass. Go, go, go! Haha! 600 with an 8 at 120.1. Stuck to the floor. We're stuck to the floor? Alright, we just set up a race with Dave's Hellcat Cuda. He just made his best ever pass in that car. He ran a 591. Faster than we've ever run in the 8th mile on this Plaid. Our best ever pass is 593. Even if we ran our best ever 8th mile with the 00 again, he's still going to have us. You got a good burnout? Traction does not look spectacular out here tonight.
That's the Plaid right side. It's driving into the inside groove.
Okay, we're deep stage, so we run a risk of red lighting here, but do what we can. Yeah, we red lit. Oh, look at this race though. Oh, he red lit worse. Zeros on my scoreboard for the reaction time, and I saw 54 on his side, so I don't know. Did he red lit worse? That's what the board showed. Alright, we launched there with 93% and 6 minutes till peak performance. We didn't have enough forewarning before that to start warming it up sooner, but a very competitive race. Who red lit worse?
You red lit by 05, he red lit by 06, and you won it by 0086.
Double O. What a race. So as Tom said, we both red lit. Okay, looking at the ticket, Tom actually had it all in reverse. I was the 06 red light, and he was the 05 in the Cuda. He ran 611 at 115.8. We ran 613 at 119.6. He had a 143.60 foot to R150. I wouldn't mind running that back.
You did a 06 red light.
Yeah, I was too deep. I knew it as I went in. I said, I'm deep stage here. I'm probably going to red light. Like, and I left at my normal time. It was close.
He couldn't have beat.
I wouldn't mind running that back. In fact, at the finish line, you know what the margin was at the finish line? 0.008.
Looks like I treed you.
We're just talking about this crazy ticket. We got to run that back.
Yep.
The first race tonight's going to be against this Hellcat Cuda, tuned almost 1,000 horsepower. We've raced a number of times. We both won. I'm not sure who's ahead on the series. He's gotten faster. He ran some 590s while I was in Japan. So let's see what happens here tonight. And we're back on the Nitto NT555RII Drag Radials, triple nickels. Yeah, this is such a beautiful build that David's put together. I'm looking forward to this race. First one in over 7 weeks. First pass in a while. When you haven't hit a tree in so long, that's when you realize how important the tree is. You know, that very last race we did before a trip, we hit a 00, and the margin at the finish line was 0.01, which means that if our reaction time had been a 0.01 or slower, we'd have lost that race. The only way to have won that race was with the 00 reaction time, and that's what we did. Love that race. That's why we do this. Well, also because it's a hell of a lot of fun. All right, let's get these tires ready. Shall slowest stage as possible here. Reaction time was like 1/10 of a second. Yikes. That's a way to lose a race, but thankfully it didn't matter on that pass. So these 555R2 tires, some of you might think that number 555 is just kind of arbitrary, but as I was reminded while in Japan, the number 5 is pronounced go. So what that number on the tire means is go, go, go. I think that's funny. Dave and I agreed that we would swap lanes for a rematch after this first race.
And he comes back with a 602, 118. It must do it some good to leave it on the charger for a while.
Right on. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, to be honest, I was wondering what 7 weeks just sitting in the garage would do. Well, considering it's been a while since I ran a 602 out here, some folks in the comments section suggested that this car was slowing down. Fact of the matter is, it going from winter to spring like this, and when I say spring, 76 degrees right now. But running in the winter time in 50s and 60s, that slows the car down. These conditions out here, nice and sunny, the track is warm, battery got hot really quick. These are the conditions that the car likes, and it's only going to get better in the summer months ahead as we get up into the mid to high 90s here in Florida. Yeah, this car will be running 590s again, just as it has the last few summers. Well, we'll swap lanes then. 602. It's been a long time since I ran a 602.
Yeah.
Out here? I don't think I've ran a 602 here since maybe August, September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice warm day.
Yeah, those winter months really have an effect with my car. How long you want to cool down?
Oh, it don't matter.
Okay.
I'm just knocking some air out of the tires.
Okay, just 5 minutes then.
Okay.
Right on. All right, rematch with the Hellcat Cuda. All right, we're drag strip mode, peak performance ready already. 89% state of charge now. Okay, we gotta find the traction here. Oh, we got a race there. Oh, this is a race. We got a race there. Oh, this is a race. I don't know what my tree was. Didn't get a chance to look up and see it.
That was a close one.
It was, wasn't it?
By .04.
04. Yeah, I thought he had it.
He had a better reaction time, but he won.
Oh, okay. Yeah, traction. I needed the 602 on that pass. All right, well, traction. It's that same old story in the left lane out there. I think if we race a third time, who's ever in the right lane is gonna win. We lost more than 2/10 of a second, going from 602 to 625 on that pass. He ran a 605, pretty darn close to our 602 earlier, and we did have him on the tree. 07 to his 23, but the finish line margin 04, as I expected, less than my reaction time. So if my reaction time had been less than 03, then we actually would have won that race. I'm not going to kick myself about that because my reaction time was still considerably better than his on that pass, but it was a winnable race, surprisingly. Now, he's not going to be happy with his 2:32 reaction time. Who would be, but good fun. You got it. You just got it, man.
I got it.
So, interesting numbers on here, a few interesting numbers. You're 605, really close to my previous pass.
Yeah.
I lost a little more than 2/10 just on traction.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, probably all in the, let's see, we're 60 foot.
My lights.
You weren't very happy
I didn't
about
want
that.
a red light on you again. The first time I red light, which didn't matter.
It gets in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah. So then I'm like, I'm just going to wait. But yeah, I think, what a terrible light.
I think the story is with these two cars tonight, who's ever in the right lane is going to win.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, that definitely hooked up that time.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, my all-wheel drive eventually got me traction, but losing those 2/10 was the difference. but I liked the way it was at the finish. I thought maybe I might catch you. What was your mile an hour at the finish line?
117.8.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 118.
See, it used to be you'd like trap at like 114 and stuff, and I could catch you.
Yeah.
But I wasn't pulling on you at all.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was like right
you were
there
ahead of me
thinking,
for a second there, and it was just like.
I was thinking, come on, car, I can catch him. But no, there was no catching you to be had on that pass. So that was a good fun race. All right, we got the Cougar making another pass. Throttle stuck? He kept winding it up way past the finish line. Did that sound like a stuck throttle to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. First time I've seen that out of that car.
A new build, new carburetor.
You got more than one spring on there, I trust.
I don't think so this time.
Looks like that's going to be Larry's last pass tonight.
That was exciting.
We were all wondering what was going on out there.
Stuck to the floor.
Was stuck to the floor? Throttle return spring?
Don't know what it is. There's two springs on it. The springs are
Two springs.
I think the throttle.
Did you have to get your foot underneath it to pull it back?
No, the cable itself, I think, needs to be replaced. The cable.
So how'd you get it to?
I went in the track and scratched my head to look at it.
Yeah.
I disconnected it from the carburetor, and then I pulled on the cable, and then it came out. So there's something on the cable.
Yikes.
New cable before a run.
But at the end of the run, you didn't do all that while you were on the run, obviously. What did you do at the end of the run to get the linkage to release?
I disconnected it from the carburetor.
No, at the top of the track while you were driving. Oh, you turned the power off.
Turn the power off. Gotcha. I was hitting the throttle.
Yeah.
And hitting it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going, I ought to do something here.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yeah. That's the right move.
That's what it sounded like. What the hell?
It was stuck, man.
Scary,
Like a
right?
rock. I know. What do I do here?
Glad you got good reaction to shut the thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got all my switches so I can go.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yikes.
That's exactly what I thought it looked like.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen. I said nobody accelerates past the sign like that.
One simple 10-cent throttle return spring can make all the difference in the world.
It's good to know you got good brakes.
I didn't record this pass, it was just a couple motorcycles, but unfortunately right lane went down. You hate to see that, he started wobbling and he was down pretty quick. Drag racing can be dangerous, especially when you're only on two wheels. Showtime Dragstrip, April 23rd, 2025. A lot of cars out here tonight. Check out this old 280ZX. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it Laughing Gas Under Glass. It's a full-size bottom, but... Oh, those are small solenoids. Maybe 75 or 100 shot, yeah.
Probably max 75.
Wow, that's smaller than the solenoids I had on my Fox body. Laughing Gas Under Glass. It's like Roger's red Tesla Plaid's gonna run this 280ZX. Nope. It's like 720 at 90 miles an hour, and Roger ran 620 at 117. All right, making this next run just for grins. We're running another Tesla Plaid. It's my buddy Roger in the red one. He's on 20-inch wheels with a set of tires that seems to work really well out here. Just saw him run a 619 and a 620 fairly consistent. We're down to only 73% battery state of charge, so I'm expecting it to come down to the reaction time. No way to get around the water box here tonight, so we gotta get this water off our tires. And the other thing about racing another Plaid is you can't usually both get into launch control, but I'll ask the starter. Let's both get in launch control.
You're normal.
Yeah, let him know.
Over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a signal.
I got you.
Okay, let's go super shallow here for best results.
2577 800 37.
There we go. Okay. Here we go. Sportsman tree. Now. Oh yeah, we got him on the light. Now. Oh yeah, we got him on the light. Oh, we're moving. Looked like we had a solid reaction time. We were peak performance ready for several minutes on that. Launch was 73%. You know, people ask me sometimes, is it worth it to take out the back seat? Well, one nice thing about it is anytime I race another Plaid, all I need to have is an equal reaction time, and then pretty much gives me the race, assuming I don't blow it on traction or something else. How's it going, Tom?
Andrew, oh, 31, 601, 118.5s.
How'd I do on the tree against him? Oh, wow. Almost a quarter of a second at the finish line.
That's pretty decisive.
Yes.
If I give somebody the hit, that's always going to be a quarter of a second, if not 0.3 to 0.35. So had I given him the hit, he definitely would have won that race. There's just no way. We ran a 601 at 118.5. He ran another 619 at 117.6. His times have been real consistent tonight, 619, 620. Wow, look at my 60 foot. 143? That's tied for the best 60 foot I've ever run in this car. And that was with 73% battery state of charge. Crazy. If he'd have told me pulling in here with 73% tonight, I was going to run a 143 60 foot, I would have said, that's not going to happen. Our fastest ever 60 foot on less than 3/4 charge. Surprising. Roger's 60 foot was 153, so he lost 1/10 of a second there. And then at the end, we had him by almost 2/10 on the ET and a little more than 2/10 at the finish line, 0.233. Our reaction time of 38, his an 89. Roger said he's always happy if he's less than 1/10 of a second, but I try to be under a 0.5 of a second, a 50. We both were, interestingly, by about the same amount. Let's talk to Roger about that race. Yeah. Not only the 601, you know the craziest thing? I ran my best ever 60 foot at 73% charge.
I've had good traction tonight.
It was solid. Yeah. That was absolutely solid. I got to go up to Baroni and apologize for everything I've ever said.
601 at 118.
Yeah, but it was the fastest 60 foot I've ever run in that car, period.
The answer would be yes.
Yeah, 143 60 foot was the best I've ever run. But that was at 73% battery state of charge, which is crazy.
Wow.
So it's
you going to Wawa's and coming back?
Is on. I'm thinking about it, but it's kind of late. All right.
That late. You got an hour, buddy.
We're at Leadfoot City, last Friday in April here, 2025. I'm the first car down. I'm told the prep is best in the left lane. Tonight, we don't usually run left lane out here. We haven't been at this track in 2 months since we've been in Japan. You can see our Japan footage in our previous video. So let's do everything we can for our best pass. I don't usually like to go down next to pickup trucks after that one hit us a couple years back, but they're not giving us much of a choice here. We do have a couple options. I could just let him go first, ignore him, or he's already on a bulb. All right, let's see what we get here. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't hear any chirping at all. I'd venture to say that's our first 6.0 at this track. Previous best 613. We launched with 83% battery state of charge, and peak performance had just come up about a minute before that launch. 6.0 something? Thank you. 604 with an 8 at 119.0. Our first ever 6.0 at this track.
Not the 60 foot you lined up, but I seen it. 604.
Yeah, right on, man.
Right, bro. Thank you.
About time.
I appreciate it.
I'll try the other lane next.
Yes, sir.
That's the track manager out here, Marco Lopez. All right, 604 with an 8. Let's see if we can back it up. All right, let's try right lane now. We don't have any cameras on the car at the moment. Hey, more aerodynamic, right? So there have been 4 or 5 cars down this lane since I was out here a moment ago. All right, 2 minutes till peak performance. Here we go. peak performance now. Thank you. Haha. 600 with an 8. 600 with an 8 at 120.1. If we can get traction on our next launch, 599 is very possible. This car likes to get warm to a point. It gets faster, then it gets slower again. All right, we'll be fully in launch control. It said 2 minutes till peak performance, and we launched at 80%, but traction's getting worse with all those street cars going down. Thank you.
Going in the wrong direction.
Am I? Oh no.
Yeah.
602. 602 with a 146 60 foot. We will try just one more. Tonight it's not so much about grudge racing as it is about seeing if this track will support us with a 590. Now, obviously, 90% charge would have given us a better chance at that, but 83 was a decent starting point. We just came from the house, didn't charge up. All right, looks like we're gonna have a moment to catch our breath, but sweating bullets in here. Almost 90 degrees. We've got a big tire Nova here in front of us. I like my chances. No cameras in the car though. And as long as he doesn't double bulb us, we'll be in good shape. All right, here we go. We get that 599, maybe. A little chirp out of the tires there. Dang, doesn't matter what's in the lane next to us. It seems like they're not halfway down the track when we finish. We're just testing. We're not trying to make anybody look bad. 599, 599, 601. Close. Well, the first time we ran 599 at Showtime, I think it was our 4th or 5th time down the track. That's 4 passes. We're down at 76. You know, maybe we just make one final pass and call it a night. Yeah, I say one more pass in the left lane, and if that's not a 599, then it's not going to happen on 76% charge. All right, we got a Camaro ZL1 in front of us. I sure hope he takes the right lane. Not much prep left here. Okay, we're 76% battery state of charge. 3 minutes till peak performance. Oh yeah, we're some. Whoa! That's it. We're not making more passes after that. Dang. All over the road. We spawn everywhere. Just those 5 passes out here at Leadfoot tonight. It's not often that we're driving home while it's still daylight. 4 6.0s in a row. I'm happy with that. It's really good to see the way that track has come around. So if you're anywhere here in this area north of Tampa, Leadfoot City right here in Brooksville, it's got a really sweet drag strip with a great venue, great property with all the amenities. And we'll see you next time right here on the Tesla Plaid channel.